What's slightly different about these recent attacks on schools and civilian infrastructure in Gaza is they occurred at the same time that Russia launched airstrikes against Ukraine that targeted a children's hospital. And we were reminded that the US government is still capable of being outraged by such vicious attacks on civilians, particularly children, just not when the targets are Palestinians. The Russian missiles rained down on several civilian sites in Ukraine, including that children's hospital in Kyiv, and reportedly killed dozens of civilians. Russia denied it struck the hospital, but here was State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller this week in the immediate aftermath.
Are you sure that this was a Russian attack? And if so, do you have any comment on that?
Yes, we are sure it was a Russian attack. We've seen Russia unleash another savage missile attack hitting civilians in Kyiv and other cities across Ukraine. We are seeing reports that at least 23 civilians were killed in Ukraine in these missiles attacks. Just to be clear, these are sites that serve no military purpose. They're not sheltering Ukrainian military assets. They're not sheltering members of the Ukrainian military. These are civilian infrastructure, pure and simple, that cannot, should not, must not be targets of military attacks. But once again, we've seen Putin deliberately attacking civilian infrastructure as part of his bloody war against Ukraine.
And so you think it's deliberate? I mean, I guess you can't get in his head, but you think it's deliberate? It wasn't a mistaken target?
So it's hard to say with any one particular strike, but when you look at the history of Russia continuously targeting civilian infrastructure that bears no legitimate military purpose, then it's hard to conclude it's anything but deliberate.
A clear condemnation of what happened. No mealy-mouthed answer about the need to reserve judgment until there's been an independent investigation. Now compare that reaction to Miller's response from a few months ago after the Israeli military opened fire on civilians waiting for food relief in Gaza City, killing more than 100 people, injuring more than 700 in what would be known as the Flower Massacre.
There's an investigation ongoing by the government of Israel. I know they've released a preliminary assessment, but there's a further investigation going on.
Okay, but you don't doubt that the Israeli military fired on those people. That there were gunshots.
They have offered a public assessment of what's happened, and they said that they did fire in one context. We do not have any independent confirmation of how the actual events rolled out. I know that there are differing assessments and conflicting evidence about what happened, which is why we're going to wait the outcome of the investigation.
Look, we're just going to need more investigations until we can say if it was bad that Israel slaughtered more than 100 starving people waiting for food. But we'll get back to you on that. Biden administration officials constantly code switching between outrage over Russian attacks and obfuscation over Israeli attacks. It's a wonder they don't get a nosebleed from the cognitive dissonance. Then again, I guess it's not dissonance if it all comes from the same motivation, preserving U.S. empire.